everyone, this is kind of a follow-up video to one I did a little while back entitled Creating Local Food Security and Sustainable Agriculture. One of the ideas that I posed in that video was to start a community garden, and I thought that I would expand on this further by using two fantastic resources on how to start a community garden. Those resources are from FoodShare and from communitygarden.org, and I will post the links on the sidebar and at the end of this video. There are many different types of community gardens, anything from reclaiming a patch of dirt at the side of the road to plant on, to a formal project. Obviously, some need more planning and organizing than others, so it is probably best to have an idea of which route you would like to go before jumping in. I would suspect that when most people think of a community garden, they see allotments or plots set aside for people to grow their own food in. This is probably the most popular style community garden, but there are other types as well. In my city, a small community garden was started to grow food for a local women's center and to be used as a demonstration on how people can grow their own food organically in small places. Another local community garden is in a schoolyard where the food that is grown is used to provide meals for students, many of which whose families are on fixed incomes, and is also a place of learning for children to be fully involved from planting and maintenance to harvesting and seed collection. If you're looking to start a full-blown community garden project, one of the first steps is to gather interested folks together to brainstorm what type of vision everyone has. This is where you figure out what purpose the garden will fill and who will benefit from it. Other things that might be discussed at this point is if it will be organic, ornamental and edible, or edible only, etc. You can form a committee for planning and for other tasks to be carried out. Many gardens have a head organizer to make sure everything stays on course, while others are delegated to construction, fundraising, public relations, and the like. To get the garden started, you will need to find out what type of resources you have available to you. Some people might decide to go for a grant, do a fundraiser, approach private sponsors, or members will just pool their resources together. One way to raise some revenue is to charge subscription fees for each allotment if that's the style of community garden you choose to go for. You will probably need things like soil and amendments, garden tools, and other materials to get things off the ground. One of the most important things is to figure out where the garden will be. You can use vacant lots, schoolyards, parks, city land, private property, or unused land and space of a business or not-for-profit. Obviously, there are certain things that need to be considered, such as accessibility, water sources, cost, soil safety, and if liability insurance is needed or not. Once you have all of those things taken care of, the fun really begins. If possible, try to start preparing the garden site just before or in the early part of the garden season, or the next best time is probably near the end of the garden season, so it'll be ready to go for the following year. Many new community garden sites need quite a bit of work, and if you're on a tight budget, this is where volunteers really come in handy. Before breaking dirt, make sure you have a plan ready. Will you have raised beds? How large will the garden be? What will the traffic be like? Do you have a place to store tools? Will there be fencing around the garden? There are many great software programs available to help you out at this stage, including Excel and Photoshop. I think that very few people like setting rules, but in this case they are an important part of the community garden's longevity and overall success. Certain things to think about are, how many people will your community garden accommodate? Will it have hours of operation, or will it be open all the time? Will there be communal tools, or will people need to bring their own? Will there be a fee of some sort? Will you have a waiting list? How will the maintenance be carried out? How will vandalism be dealt with? Will you allow pets on the premises? On both sites, there are a list of hypothetical rules to consider, as well as ideas for bylaws, fundraising, insurance, and other things. Well, that's it for now. Happy gardening. Thanks for watching. Sláinte.